Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a first impression on the FOCALLURE pink palette. This is what she looks like. She looks very pretty but not very exciting, like just keeping it real as I always am. I don't feel extremely like inspired or excited by this palette, which is the reason why this video hasn't been made up until now, because I've just had other videos and other makeup products that I've been far more excited about testing. So if you've kind of watched my channel before, you may know that FOCALLURE sent me 4 of their new palettes. So I have done a review on the Sweet as Honey palette, the Nude palette, and I also have the Wonder palette, which I will be doing a first impression on soon. But today it's all about the pink palette. Before I just get into the review, I have to just like mention this because I can't not mention it. So FOCALLURE sent me these palettes without any stipulations whatsoever. I don't want to like go over old ground, but they contacted me a few months ago asking if I'd like to review some of their products, with a stipulation that I had to kind of link to their official website in the description of the video, i.e. kind of sending people in the direction of their website to purchase the products. I didn't feel comfortable with that because they have an official store on Aliexpress, which is where I found out about FOCALLURE, and I didn't feel comfortable kind of, you know, advertising their website when the prices were much higher. We're not just talking like a couple of pounds higher, they are like 3-4 times the price. Like, I'm never going to send you guys to a website that is going to be more expensive if I know that there's a cheaper alternative. Do you know what I mean? So I just kind of said, no, sorry, this is the reason why. I told them why. Anyway, I don't want this to go on for ages. But so they contacted me a month or so later and said, look, do you want to try out our new Sweet as Honey palette? You don't have to mention the website, no stipulations. I think they actually said that they'd sorted out the prices on their website. But because they didn't like stipulate that I had to mention the website, I thought, okay, well, great. Anyway, so that's the story of that. With the other 2 palettes that I've tested so far, I've liked them, but I didn't feel like the quality of the formula had improved enough to justify the kind of jump in price. Even on the FOCALLURE official store on Aliexpress, there's still an increase in price. I like them, but they weren't my favourite. I much prefer the Twilight and the We Care Your Favours palette. Before I switched the camera on, I just had a little bit of a look to see how much the Nude... Oh, I've got the wrong fucking palette. Oh my gosh. I did do a little bit of research because I wanted to find out how... I say research, it wasn't. It was like... took me a second, but I wanted to find out how much the pink palette was on their official website compared to Aliexpress. So on their official website, this palette is $34, and they're saying that that's a sale price, and the actual price, like pre-sale, was $70. $70. Are they having a laugh? Like, what? Look, I've got it here. So look, you can see $70 crossed out, $34 fucking dollars. There's no way. There's no way. Don't get me wrong, like, I love FOCALLURE. I love their Twilight palette, We Care Your Favours palette, but I did not really love this palette, and this palette would not be worth that price. Like, let's see how much that one is. Sorry, I know you came here to actually see a review, but I feel like it's important to, like, you know, kind of have a look into these prices because it's crazy. So the Sweet as Honey palette is $35. So why is this one, like, why are they saying it was $70? I don't think it was ever $70. No one would buy it for $70. On Aliexpress, this palette is £5.31. So I definitely recommend that you purchase this from the FOCALLURE official store on Aliexpress if you do want to buy it. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm just going to get straight into doing some swatches, and then I'm going to do a bit of a makeup look. I hope that you don't think that I'm being super sassy, or like, I don't want to be like overly critical of FOCALLURE because I am actually a big fan of them, and I obviously really appreciate them sending me these eyeshadow palettes, like I really do, but at the same time, I have to be honest, and I just think that their official website has not really been set up properly. Like, I don't understand why they're allowing Aliexpress to sell their products so cheaply, but then on their official website, they're like quadrupling the price. It just seems like a really poor business decision, and I'm not quite sure what they're doing. So with all that being said, this is the pink palette. It has a beautiful kind of marbled pink effect on it, which is very similar to the nude palette. I actually really love the packaging. I think it's beautiful. They do also have a little mirror here, which I always forget to rip off the plastic bit. This palette is nothing new. I'm sure that we've all got these colours within our makeup collections. You've got 6 shimmers and 6 mattes, so I like that even balance. I think it's nice to have, like, you know, an even number of mattes and shimmers. Okay, so I'm just going to do the swatches and then we can get into the look. Okay, so here we have the swatches. I really like this shimmer. I feel like the mattes not very pigmented, and also the shimmers quite disappointing. Let me just compare, right, because I know I keep going on about the We Care Your Favourites and the Twilight palette. The shimmers in these palettes are just outstandingly good, and that's where I was just a bit disappointed in these newer palettes, because the shimmers have definitely, they've not improved. They've got worse. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, these are the shimmers in the We Care Your Favours palette. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Like, if you just look at the difference, like, I just think these are absolutely beautiful compared with these, you know, lackluster ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, so today I'm going to begin with a mixture of these 2 mattes, and I'm just going to pop those in my transition. Using my AOA Studio big fluffy brush, I'm just going to pop these into my transition. Okay, so not bad. I feel like you do kind of have to build these mattes up quite a bit, but I'm kind of liking it. I think it looks nice. Not ever worth $70 though. Like, so I've just gone back in again with my brush. I mean, they do make for a really beautiful kind of neutrally kind of warm transition. Next, going to go in with a little bit of the like peachy shade, and then the slightly darker kind of brown. Okay, so yeah, I kind of like that. I think, you know, for a transition, it actually looks really nice. I'm going to switch my brush. So I am switching to a Morphe brush, and I am going to go back into this slightly darker brown shade again, and maybe a little bit of this. Why not? I have no idea what kind of look. Oh, look, I've got some on my cheek. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? These eyeshadows do blend out like really nicely. They're really easy to blend. They're, like I always say, they're not very pigmented. So you do have to like really build them up. But I kind of like that. To me, that's not a bad thing. I find that, like, you know, very pigmented shades can be very intimidating. Because if you put on too much, there's no going back. I feel like we've actually got to this situation relatively quickly as well. So next I'm going to put a little bit of the lighter kind of, it's like a tan shade. I'm going to mix that with a little bit of this kind of cool toned brown. And I'm just going to pop that underneath my eye. I'm going to mix a little bit of this peachy shade just to warm it up a little bit. Okay, so next we are, oh, I forgot I had a mirror on the palette. Like, I always forget this. Okay, so next we're going to go in with this kind of aubergine kind of shade. And I'm going to just pop that just into the outer kind of area. I love this brush because it's kind of tapered at the end, so you can be really specific with where you're applying the shadow. This is going to be super grungy eye today. We're going to add a little bit of shimmer, and I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is kind of like, it's like a bronzy kind of tone. So I'm just going to pop that onto my lid using my finger. Like, it's not terrible, it's not the worst shimmer ever, it's just not great. And especially when you compare it to FOCALLURE's, you know, other shimmers, which is like, I know, or used to know FOCALLURE for their shimmers, because their shimmers were so bombastically fantastic, and this one is just not. Okay, so I am going to help this shimmer out a little bit. I'm going to apply a little bit of Fix Plus on my brush, and I'm just going to go back in again and then just see if we can make this any better. I mean, it's not awful, but it's just not great. You know what I mean? It's just not great. I mean, I think I prefer the mattes to the shimmers, because this shimmer's just kind of shit. I'm going to go in with a little bit of this pinky shimmer, just to kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, just to add a little bit of something to my eye in the hopes it will bring it to life. You know what I don't like about these shimmers as well? They are very, like, chunky. So I love them when my eye's like this, you know, when it's kind of taut. But as soon as I open my eye, you can see it just kind of sits in all of my, like, creases and reminds me that I'm 34. And I do not need my eyeshadow to remind me I'm 34. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with this kind of pearly shade. And I'm going to just pop that underneath my brow. I'm going to just dip back into this Fix Plus, get back in there, just pop that under my brow. Okay, so what I was thinking about doing was applying a little bit of this FOCALLURE Beam. It's a glitter eyeliner, and I was going to just apply it, you know, up around my crease. But something has happened to this, and it's separated. So all of the glitter is at the bottom, and then you've got this, like, liquid at the top. And I've tried shaking it, but it doesn't seem to be really making much of a difference. But I really want to use this today because I thought it might be really nice, just, you know, in the crease. But it's just like a little bit, like, fecked up, unfortunately. But I'm going to try it anyway. Okay, so there we go. I actually really, really like that. I'm just going to sit like this for a couple of minutes and let it dry. This looks like really like I should not really be using it, but I mean, it went on fine and it looks okay. I've not had it that long. I don't know if the separation is just like part of what happens. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my other eye and then I'll be back to show you the final look in just a sec. But I am going to just sit like this for a few minutes and wonder what the meaning of life is. Okay, so this is the final look. I actually think it looks really, really nice, if I don't say so myself. The glitter liner, let's just say, the idea was good. Again, not like tooting my own horn or anything, but whenever I see people on Instagram and they do a beautiful, like, dainty glitter liner in their crease, I always think that looks great. But then, like, I've just tried it and it's obviously like, it's anything but dainty. It's just all over the place. But anyway, however, I actually really, really like the finished look. This took me about half an hour to do in total, including me talking and everything else. I love the colours. I thought it was really easy to get to this. So I actually have no real kind of criticisms of the palette, other than I think the shimmers could be better. Knowing what FOCALLURE has produced in the past, I'm a bit disappointed. They definitely could and should be better. The mattes, great, no issue whatsoever with those. The massive issue that I have is with the price. This is worth £5.31. I would happily spend £5.31 on it. I would be completely comfortable recommending that you buy this palette from Aliexpress, FOCALLURE official store, if you like the shades. But what I am not happy about is the fact that on their website, they're selling it for $35. And even claiming that they're selling it for, God, I'm on one now, but the fact that they're even claiming that its original price was like $70, that's what I am not happy about. I think the palette for £5.31, great. Get yourself to Aliexpress. Get yourself one if you like it. I'm just a little bit disappointed that FOCALLURE are kind of overpricing them on their website. That's all that I have to say really with this. Out of these 3 new FOCALLURE palettes that I've tried so far, I definitely do like the pink palette best. The shades in this palette are definitely more my kind of shades. I prefer it to the Sweetest Honey palette. This is the nude palette. You have very similar colours to the pink palette, but you do have a pop of kind of a shimmery blue. I say shimmery in the loosest possible sense of the word. And you've got the Sweetest Honey palette, which looks beautiful. It smells like, oh my gosh, I just got a whiff. But yeah, it looks beautiful and I like it, but I feel like it's a little bit all over the place in terms of like the shades. I look at it and I just feel a bit bewildered about what to do. Yeah, I like the pink palette. I like it for £5.31. I don't like it for $35. How much I like a palette is kind of relative to the price of the palette. And if I'm paying $35, well, I wouldn't be paying $35 because I'm in the UK, but that works out to being about £30. And this is not a £30 palette. It's not. Even Gervais Place palettes are cheaper than that, so no. Oh, Shania, oh my gosh, they just all fell off the table, like really. But anyway, guys, my stool is literally on the verge of collapsing, so I hope that you've enjoyed this review. I hope that I wasn't overly negative, but I feel like it's really important just to speak the truth and obviously say exactly what I feel. So, I mean, thank you so much, FOCALLURE, for sending me these eyeshadow palettes, but I do definitely urge you to sort out your website prices, because nobody is going to be purchasing from your website when they can buy the same product 3-4 times cheaper on Aliexpress. I mean, really, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.